Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm back again with yet another video. Going back a little bit in time, not as far back as we did on the video from Friday, but today's video we're going to go back a little bit in time, and we're going to go back to Strixhaven, and we're going to go back to one of the specific commanders in Strixhaven that I've really enjoyed playing recently. I've been doing a bit of test playing with this on MTGO, and it's come to my attention that it's actually quite good on MTGO. It's a card you've seen in some of my other decks I've been talking about, but I decided to do it on its own as its own special deck. So, without further ado, here's Adrix and Nev Twincasters, 2 green and blue for a 2/2 legendary Merfolk Wizard. Wall 2, which is nice, it makes it difficult to kill when you get it in play. And it says, if one or more tokens would be created under your control, twice that many of those tokens are created instead. This is fun. You've probably seen me play this in some of the other commander decks I play where it's blue and green, but I decided to try and play something completely built around Adrix and Nev, and the easiest way to do that from my point of view was to go down the creature token route. So that's what I've tried to do here. So I hope you enjoy this deck tech, and I'm going to talk through it right now. We'll start with the lands. Alchemist Refuge is in here because we'd like to play the stuff as flash if we can, and then beyond that there's the usual selection of blue-green lands you'd expect to see in any deck. I have included Fable Passage and Field of the Dead in here, purely because Fable Passage goes and searches me out some land. Field of the Dead, when I hit that magic 7 number, starts producing zombies, by which stage I'm hoping I'd have Adrix in play so I get at least 2 zombies for each land I play, which is quite nice, because one thing we haven't got is really any early drops that we mind dying off, so getting this up and running quickly is going to be not hideously important but good. Gaze Cradle's in here. As I've said before in some of the other videos, I own this on MTGO. I don't own this in real life. If you're looking at building this in real life, you can ignore this card and take it out, just put another forest in. Yes, it helps if you've got one, but there's another option in the deck, as you'll see in a minute. Beyond that, Hinterland Harbour, load of islands. Kalani Garden's quite nice if you play it late when you've got Adrix and Nev in play, because you get 2/0/1 plant tokens, which can be little speed bumps. The Heart Progress is in here. We can make them bigger. I thought this was quite a good call in this deck. Then just a whole load of blue-green, dual lands, so on and so forth. Nothing really that spectacular, just a nice solid mana base. Starting with the 1-drops, Elvish Mystic, Essence Warden, Llanowar Elves. Essence Warden's nice, so you gain the life. Elvish Mystic and Llanowar help you ramp as quickly as possible. Elixir of Immortality in case things get destroyed. We need to shuffle everything back into our great library again. And obviously Soul Ring is one of the ramp spells. Cyclonic Drifts here. This is going up and down. People like playing, don't mind playing against it. Some people quit when you play it. It's one of those cards, but in a deck like this you need some way of mass removing stuff, and getting up to the Overload 7 is quite easy with this deck, believe it or not. Chatterstorm's an interesting inclusion. Squirrels aren't something you see a lot of in MTGO or MTG in general, but having the Storm ability on this, and if you can cast a few spells before it and then use 2 mana to get the Chatterstorm off, especially with Adrix in play, you get a lot of squirrels, which do have their benefits eventually. Likewise, Verdant Command's in here really to create this squirrels as well, but the worst you'll do is get 2 squirrels tapped and gain 3 life, so that's probably what you do most of the time. The other 2 are a little bit vague for my ability, but 2 squirrels and 3 life for 2 mana seemed like a good call to me. Calling Oracle I've put in because it's an elf. There's a reason they wanted another elf in, and you get to look at the top card of your library. If it's a land, you get to put it into play, otherwise it goes in your hand. So, and it gives you 1/1 body for the same cost as quite an infamous instant now, but yeah, so we're going with that. The rest of the ramps here now: Arcane Signet, Moss Signet, Simic Signet, and Sky Diamond. We might as well have them all in. We're going to be playing them, so let's make the most of it. And likewise, Swiftfoot Boots I've already mentioned here to help project Adrix when it comes into play. The rest of the creatures we're going to look at, most of them produce tokens or benefit from having lots of tokens in play, so bear with me. Sailor of the Means comes in, gives a treasure token. Yeah, it's a 1/4, it's a bit weak. If Adrix is in play, we get 2 treasure tokens. If some of the other cards we're coming to, we'll get more. It's a little bad speed bump to a certain extent. Are you going to win with it? Probably not, but the treasure is quite nice for the 3 mana, because basically it costs you 2 for a 1/4 if you look at it from that point of view, so that's why it's in here. Jason Mirror Mage is so we can kick it when Adrix is in play and get a few copies of Jace. I believe it works. I'm not 100% sure. Because you do get a copy except it's not legendary, so that should give us a token copy. So we get 2, maybe 3 Jaces in play. I thought it was worth a try out. Awakening Zone just produces little Eldrazi's, which help ramp us up, and likewise when Adrix is in play we get 2 little Eldrazi's, which helps us ramp up quickly. Dryad of the Elysian Groves here just so we can play the extra lands and make sure that whatever lands we have in play can be tapped for green and blue. Fey Offering is here. We do have a fair split between creatures and other spells in the deck, as you can see from over here. 29 creatures, 33 others. So the chances are we can cast a creature spell and maybe a non-creature spell eventually in the game, which means we get a clue of food and a treasure token. With Adrix in play, we get double of them. So work out for yourselves. There you go. Growing Rights of Imlatex here as well. This is the card I was thinking about. You can take Gaze Cradle out if you want to. Maybe put, I don't know, Birds of Paradise in, another 1-drop elf that produces white-green. But keep Growing Rights in. Having that extra mana ramp when you get there and you get to flip it is really good. And with this deck, the amount of tokens you're producing, flipping this isn't difficult. Probably 9 times out of 10 on the turn you cast it, you'll be flipping it. Imperious Perfect gives some elves a little bit of a boost and create some elf warrior tokens. Yep, tokens, notice the theme. I'll just make this a little bit bigger for this one because the split cards always come up funny. Kiandina Substance is really why we're playing this. Exile top card of your library, it's a land card, put it into your hand, otherwise put a study counter on it, and then create a fractal, put a +1/+1 counter on it for each different mana value among non-land cards you own in exile with study counters on them. Yeah? That's a little bit of mana ramp. It's a little bit weird. We may need to cast Ibrahim Demon of Theory at some stage, but it's more like we're going to be looking at Kiandina Substance as this goes on. Right. Reclamation Stage is just there for some generic removal. Again, it's also an elf. Take out an artifact or enchantment is annoying. It seems like a reasonable plan. Scoot Swarm, we're producing lands that produces tokens. Adrix and Nev means we produce more tokens. You get. I'm not going to keep saying Adrix and Nev, by the way, when I'm talking about tokens. It produces tokens. You can work it out from there. This is why we've got quite a few elves in here. Elvish Archdruid is here to help with that mana ramp. Also, it pumps some of the creatures up as we go along. Squirrel Nest, tap a land, make a token. Biomathematician. Again, comes into play, get to make a fractal. Hopefully we'll have something else in play, get some more fractals. Yep, Oko's here, it's got makes food tokens. Yep, let's just skip through Oko. I expect people are cursing about me playing this. Academy Manufacturer is here now. This is quite nice. If you create one little token from up here, so the Sailor Means comes into play the turn after you've cast Academy Manufacturer, then you get Sailor Means into play. You end up with a food, a clue, and a treasure instead of just a treasure. And then with Adrix in play, you get 2 clues, 2 treasures, 2 food. You work out from there. Last bit of ramp that's not a creature is Simic Keyroom, that's here. The bit of ramp that is a creature, Solemn Simulacrum, that's here. I've included Helm with the Host. Yeah, putting this onto Adrix and Nev is sick. I have to say this. Multiple copies of Adrix and Nev. Loads of tokens. I have managed to crash MTGO doing this before now, so be warned. In real life, it's okay. You can't crash a game unless someone flips the table over. But on MTGO, be aware of it. You can crash it, and I have done it. I'm going to try and record some gameplay with this deck later on today and shove up later in this week. So just be aware of that. I'll try not to crash MTGO, but if I do crash it, I'll record it and you can see what I mean. Manifestation Sage, again, great fractal. Card number has X +1/+1 counts on it for the number of cards in our hand, which is fine. Rishimi Eternity's Crafter. Again, it's a bit of card draw, a bit of ramping, getting things into play. Cure of the Crashing Wave is something I wanted to try out in this deck. I don't play her that often, but yeah, if they got something we can prevent the damage from, seems like a reasonable shout. Bounty of Lux is here, ramp and card draw. Likewise, Garrick has Wild Speaker is here for 2 different reasons. First reason is we can produce tokens. Second reason is we can untap 2 lands and cast more stuff. if you've got a flipped, where is it? What have I just done with it? There it is. No, there it is, growing rights. If you've got a flipped growing rights and Gaia's Cradle in play, and you get Garrick in play, it gets very stupid very quickly. Bear that in mind. Beast Whisperer for the card draw. When we cast our creature spells. Toshki so that all the creatures that deal damage draws cards, which seemed like a reasonable plan to me. Parallel Lives helps with the token creation. This is why I had him play along with Adrix and Nev and Academy Manufacturer when I crashed the game. So bear that in mind when you're looking at this. Glittermonk is quite nice. I've added this in from Streets of New Capenna. Just tap it, create a treasure token. It's really nice when you've got some of the doublings or Academy Manufacturers in place, so on and so forth. Doubling Season's in here. Again, this is a card you can ignore. I know how expensive Doubling Season is in real life, and it's a little bit pricey on MTGO. Can you take it out? You can. Is there anything really to replace it with? No, because you probably need one of these two in play all the time, Parallel Lives and Doubling Season. But if you're going to pick one, I'd probably take out Doubling Season and leave Parallel Lives in purely because of the mana cost. I'm playing it because I own it. Very simple. Paradox Zone's quite nice. This is a card that came out in Strixhaven Commander decks, and I'm trying it out here. At the beginning of your end step, double the number of growth counters on Paradox Zone, then create a 0/0 green and blue fractal token, put X+1/+1 counters on it, where X is the number of counters on Paradox Zone. Gets very nice, gives you a lot of creatures quite quickly. Tendershoot Dryad, you all know what this does by now, you've seen it a few times. I've included Bestial Menace just for the laugh factor. 5 mana to give me a 1/1 snake, a 2/2 wolf, and a 3/3 elephant. I thought I might as well try it out in this deck. If it's going to go in any deck, it's going to be this one. Freylease is here to create some more elves, which tap for mana. So she basically produces Llanowar elves. But also the artifact enchantment, destruction, and the card draw is really nice if we can get that far. If we can get up to -6, it's really good. That's where Consecrated Sphinx comes in, helps us get up to the cards we need. The other Nissa, Nature's Artisans here. It's really the +3 just to gain the life, and eventually if we can get up to 12 and do the creatures you control get +5/+5 and gain trample until the end of turn, that's probably game over. Likewise, Rampaging Baloths comes into play. Land 4, get 4/4 beast with one of the doubling tokens in play. Get 2 beasts, so on and so forth. Likewise, Vorinclex Monstrous Raiders here. If one or more counters would on a permanent or player, put twice that many on instead. Basically, this is here so we can get this in play and maybe go straight ultimate levels with our Planeswalkers, the few we've got in. But it's a 6/6 at the end of the day with haste. It also slows down any opponents who are playing Planeswalkers as well, or +1/+1 counter type decks. Progenitor Mimics here. The idea of Progenitor Mimic is to copy something like Tendershoot Dryad, to copy something along the lines of maybe Beast Whisperer, or Scoot Swarm. Get loads and loads of toppies. It's quite nice. Fable of Wolf and Owl. We've got obviously all our spells are green and blue. Having this in play, getting some tokens when we cast those green and blue spells seemed like a reasonable plan to me for this deck. Avenger Zendikar, Hornet Queen. You probably know what they all do by now, but Avenger, you're going to get a lot of land in play, you'll get a lot of plant tokens. Hornet Queen just comes in and gives you all those nice little flying death touch things to slow down the dragon decks that don't trample. Nyx Bloom Ancients, we can spend lots of mana very quickly, and we have got some X spells that we could use that on. Achroma's Memorial. Flying, First Strike, Vigilance, Trample, Haste, and Protection from red and black. Yeah, okay, that can come in. We'll be able to get up to 7 mana and get this in play, which will protect our creatures even further. Living Hive, when it deals combat damage to a player, create that many 1/1 insect tokens. This gets silly with Adrix or Parallel or Doubling in play. And then Create Hoof's obviously one of the win conditions. Once we've got all these tokens in play, chucking down a Create Hoof and just attacking your opponents should be the end of the game for them. The Great Henges here. We don't have that many creatures that are big, but we have a lot of ways of getting mana out quickly. Just looking at you, Nyx Bloom Ancient. So hitting the 9 mana to cast it, and then gaining the life, and non-token creatures getting +1/+1 kind of help. yeah, making Adrix a little bit bigger if it's coming in from the command zone, for example. Seems like a reasonable plan, hence why it's here. We only have a few X spells, have 3 at the end here. Fractal Harness is another card I wanted to try out. It's equipped to, whenever a creature attacks, double the number of +1/+1 counters on it. If you're putting +1/+1 counters on it, if you've got this in play, it gets silly very quickly. But we have to get the Fractal Harness into battlefield, create a 0/0 green and blue fractal creature token, put X +1/+1 counters on it, attach Fractal Harness to it. Whenever a equipped creature attacks, double the number of +1/+1 counters on it. We've got a way of putting +1/+1 counters around, so it might be quite good even if the token gets killed, so we'll see what happens. Fractal Summonings here, again, just 2 mana of blue or green, X, create a 0/0 fractal, and then put all those X +1/+1 counters on it. It's really nice if you can do this for sort of like 8 or 9, and the next turn drop create a hoof. Your opponents aren't impressed. The last X spell in the deck is Genesis Wave. We produce a lot of mana between the Elvish Archdruid, the ramp spells, the normal elves. We'll be getting up to mana quite quickly with this, and just dropping a lot of your deck into play in one turn really does upset your opponents. I can't imagine why, but it does upset them, and the chances are you win next turn, assuming everything survives. So that's it. That's my quick and dirty little Adrix and Nev Twincasters deck. Heroic Intervention is one card I haven't included. You may want to think about it possibly over the top of the Verdant or the Cyclonic Rift. I haven't put one in here because I didn't want to. I've got Elixir Immortality as far as I'm concerned, so if everything gets destroyed, I'll shuffle it back in. But Heroic Intervention I can see being one of those cards that will help some people out if you want something that's a bit different. But that's it. That is my Adrix and Nev Twincaster deck. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hit the like button, hit the follow button, leave a comment down below. I'm really trying to get, and literally come join me over on Twitch. I'm hoping by the end of August I'll hit 120 followers on Twitch. As I record this, as I said in the other video, I'm recording these on the same day. I'm sitting at 97 at the moment, so you know, getting up a little bit more would be really good. But hopefully you'll come and see me. I'll be playing the deck at some stage. So for now, thanks for watching this video. Take care, and I'll hopefully see you on Twitch sometime soon. Bye.